Kernersville Rotary. DJ, thanks for that wonderful introduction. You read it exactly as I typed it. There is no check in the mail nonprofit. So, by a show of hands, how many were here when I was here 4 years ago on September 9th, 2015? Awesome. Keep your hand up if you remember a word I said. That is good. You know, they say it takes 10,000 times before you're an expert in something. So I believe after I read last time's speech word for word, 9,998 to go. Kidding. I want to recap in 5 quick sentences what I spoke about last time, and then we'll get into today's topic, and that is Connor Bartz and the Ronald McDonald House of Winston-Salem, a love story. First, last time I was here, I spoke of 4 key ingredients that every Ronald McDonald house has worldwide. That is now up to 368 houses throughout the country. The first ingredient, most important ingredient of all, is love. Ingredient number 2 is a sick child. Actually, by licensing requirements with McDonald's, we can only serve families who are caring for a sick child or a pediatric patient. Ingredient number 3 is McDonald's. Folks like DJ and owner-operators. They've been with Ronald McDonald houses every step of the way. In fact, it was a partnership between the Philadelphia Eagles, McDonald's, a member of the Eagles team, Fred Hill, who was a tight end, his wife Fran, who were caring for their 3-year-old daughter Kim, who had cancer. They joined forces with Dr. Audra Evans and built the very first Ronald McDonald House to serve Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Ingredient number 4 is generosity. It comes in all forms, certainly love, money, volunteer time, wish list items, and donated services. 2 other administrative points to cover with you. Our mission is providing a home away from home in our house and our family room for families caring for a child receiving medical care in our community. And the tagline that was developed since I've last been out with you for all Ronald McDonald houses is keeping families close. Now for today's talk, Connor Bartz and the Ronald McDonald House of Winston-Salem, a love story. Up front, I do want to apologize. I'm going to need to read verbatim some letters and emails directly for you to get the full gist of today's story. So Connor's family's first stay with us was on May 3rd, 2017. He was referred to us by a member of the pediatric clinic at Brenner's Children's Hospital. He had just turned 17 4 days earlier on April 29th. His diagnosis was osteosarcoma cancer. He and his family were eligible to stay at the Ronald McDonald House because he was referred by a member of his medical team. We don't take self-referrals for that first visit. His mom, his dad, and his 21-year-old sister all passed our background check as required by anybody 18 years and older to stay at our house in the communal living segment. And they were from outside of Forsyth County. Actually, they traveled to us from Abingdon, Virginia. The Bart's first stay with us was 2 nights long, which is actually less than half of our average length of stay, which is slightly above 6 days, 6 nights. So Connor's cancer diagnosis matched him with about 10% of the families that stay with us. Actually, the number 1 medical diagnosis that we serve is in the 45 to 55% range, and that's families dealing with neonatal intensive care unit issues, primarily from premature birth. Now, our house, like the first house in Philly, was created to serve families caring for cancer patients. We opened our 10-bedroom house on September 14th, 1984, and that was thanks to the efforts of Penny and Dick Latham, whose son Alan, at 3 years old, passed away from cancer. Our waiting list was so long when we first opened up, we had a 21-day rule. At the end of 21 days, unless you were a cancer patient family, you had to check out and go to the bottom of the waiting list. In '97, we strove to eliminate that. We expanded to 17 bedrooms. We had to keep the 21-day rule because of our waiting list. Thankfully, in 2010, we expanded to our current size of 35 bedrooms, which eliminated the waiting list and the 21-day rule. In fact, this past March, the family of a burn victim, after their son was healthy enough to go home, left the house and checked out after being with us for 315 consecutive nights. Now, Connor's family would not stay with us 315 days consecutively. But between their initial arrival date of May 3rd, 2017, and their second to the last departure date of March 16th, 2018, they would have 25 separate stays with us, no single stay being longer than 4 nights. During that stretch of 25 stays, Connor's family spent a total of 59 nights with us. During some of those stays, Connor was in the hospital the whole time, and only his family stayed with us. At other times, he was being treated as an outpatient, and he stayed with us too. The following email exchange, I hope, gives you a glimpse of how we felt about Connor and his family. Jeannie Baird, our resident manager, she lives on site at her house. She's actually a full-time employee of Wake Forest University. But for us, she's on duty from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., after which she turns the house over to site span security staff. There are awake staff from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Jeannie comes back on duty from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and then she turns it over to our director of house operations. On the weekends, we have a weekend manager that plays the same role as Jeannie does during the week. On Monday, March 12th, 2018, Jeannie wrote, and now for the reader glasses, I just talked to Chandler, Connor's dad, to Chandler and Connor, and Friday is his last radiation treatment. I told them we have a staff meeting and should celebrate with them, but Connor asked if we could do something Thursday evening instead. He wants to be on the road home as soon as the last radiation treatment is done Friday. Friday is also Shay's birthday. Shay is Connor's mom. Shay's birthday, and she will be here with him. If I can leave work an hour early Thursday, can we plan on a going home happy birthday party for them? I think it would mean the world to my Olympic watching buddy, Jeannie. On Tuesday, March 13th, 2018, Heather Rumpel, who was our family support services manager, she writes back, I left a note under Connor's door asking if he'd like to gather, and if so, what time on Thursday. I've also asked him what his preferred treat would be to celebrate. We'll keep you posted. On Thursday, March 15th, 2018, I believe it was 10 of us, our 9 full-time staff, and Jeannie, who was a part-time member of the staff, gathered in our dining room at about 2 p.m. Connor and his mom were there. We shared Dewey's pink lemonade squares and huge cupcakes to celebrate Shay's birthday. It truly was a very happy, giddy party in anticipation of Connor's last radiation treatment scheduled for the very next day. On Friday, March 16th, 2018, Connor had that last treatment. He and his mother headed home to Abingdon, Virginia, with promises to drop in when they were back in town for the checkup. Now, we truly had a great relationship with Connor and his family and asked their permission to use their journey as one of our Home Away from Home annual campaign story cards that we used during our annual fundraising campaign. I apologize, I only had 30 of those cards left from our 2018 campaign. That's what I tried to scramble around and put on your table. So that is the story card that we used during last year's, as we affectionately call it, half-hack campaign. Now, you heard me say our mission is to provide a home away from home at our house and our family rooms. Tagline, keeping families close. As you've read this card, I hope you'll agree with me that doing homework at the kitchen table, writing term papers, preparing for the SAT, scrambling to get the band practice and band competition sounds like a typical teenager. My favorite part is Connor was our very first guest that got fitted for his junior prom tux while he was staying at the Ronald McDonald house. 4 months later, as Connor promised, his mom and dad popped in on July 26, 2018 for a one-night stay for a clean wellness checkup. And certainly underneath the cliche of no news is good news, it was 2 more months before we heard from Connor's family. On Monday, September 24th, 2018, Kate Grimmett, our mornings guest services manager, forwarded an email from Connor's mom, and she sent it all to us that Monday from the email Connor's mom had sent on Saturday. The subject line read, King Connor. As the pictures that were attached to the email privately attested to, Connor had been named homecoming king for his high school on Friday night, September 21st, 2018. In a perfect world, a world we could easily understand, yesterday's events, we just don't understand this world. But this is where Connor Barks and the Ronald McDonald House of Winston-Salem love story would end. On Wednesday, October 17th, 2018, Connor's mom, Shay, wrote, "Hey, I hate to email with bad news, but Connor has had a relapse of Ewing's. We thought he had gotten a cold or pneumonia, but the x-ray and CT showed another tumor on his lower left lung. We're planning on going to Cincinnati this time for a trial that will include immunotherapy. If you could let everyone know, your prayers would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Shay." On Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019, Connor's mom, Shay, and dad, Chandler, wrote, "We are here again at the Cincinnati Ronald McDonald House, and of course when we come here, we think of you all in Winston-Salem. Connor had more scans yesterday, and we have an oncology appointment at 10 a.m. The last scan showed the tumor was stable, which is good, but not as good as reduction. If this scan shows some progression, then the doctor might recommend delay that we move forward with immunotherapy. Of course, we want to start as soon as possible so we can start beating this thing. After all, that is the reason we are here, so my patient is tried whenever they say we need to get as much mileage out of the chemo as possible. I have to remind myself that God has his perfect timing. There's not much I can do but pray for his healing. Thankfully, this chemo, although still causing sickness, has not left Connor without hair. We haven't had as many blood transfusions. It's still hard on him. So I'm asking you all to remember us in prayer today. Although they have a nice house here in Cincinnati, it's just okay compared to y'all. I hope this letter finds you all well and encourages you to remember how important you are to your guest, certainly you are to the Bartz family. With continued appreciation for your work, Chandler, Shay, and Connor Bartz." On Friday, February 15th, 2019, Connor and his family arrived for their longest stay ever with us. It lasted 5 nights. On Monday evening, February 18th, 2019, Connor's parents sat around with a few of our staff members and shared that the Cincinnati treatment did not work. So tomorrow they would discuss with their Winston doctors what the next step is. On Tuesday, February 19th, Connor asked his parents to take him home so he could be with family. Heather, our family support manager, scrambled to get an autographable Ronald McDonald House doll so that she could pass it around to all of the staff members, and we could write some thoughts to Connor and then give it to his family. On Tuesday evening, February 19th, 2019, Heather wrote, "Days like today are very hard, and it is an honor and a privilege to work with you guys to support families like Connor's. Enjoy your favorite coping mechanisms tonight, parentheses, thanks for the crab ragoon, Danielle, and take comfort in the knowledge that we helped make this family's journey easier in any way we could. I left Percussion Ronald and a note, see below, outside the family's door. Chandler was making some calls in the room. He believes they will likely be leaving sometime tomorrow." The note to the Bartz family read, "When we think of you guys, it is as a beloved family members who share our silly, some may say warped, sense of humor. Nothing could perfectly sum up our affection for you, but Percussion Ronald sure comes close. You know, our hearts are with you in the coming days, and then when we speak of you and remember our time together, it is with laughter, and Adam Rippon, and Gaga, and Harry Potter House, and cake. You are always part of the Ronald McDonald House of Winston-Salem family. Way cooler than Cincinnati." So on Wednesday, February 20th, 2019, Connor's family did in fact check out before we even arrived at work. And they left this handwritten note. "Dear Ronald McDonald House family, I just couldn't write this in an email. It just seems inadequate. There are no words to express our appreciation for all of you. I've said this before, but it seems especially meaningful now. You work in a place where people are hurting, sick, and so often in a crisis. Your humor, love, and support bring such sunshine into all lives that you come in contact with. I know you do this for all of your families, and the world is a better place because of you. I'll never be able to see a McDonald's sign or go to a drive-thru without thinking of your love and support for my family. You've made this journey with us, and we are so much better having known you. This is our small donation and repayment, but is no way adequate. All our love, the Bartz family." On Thursday, February 28th, 2019, Connors family wrote, Dear Ronald McDonald House staff, yesterday, my son Connor lost his battle with cancer and went to be with Jesus. He wasn't in pain and he was not afraid. I am so devastated. I had the right to tell you to give me comfort and others that loved him. You were with us through so much of this journey, and of course I have to thank you. You got to know him in some of his best times, and you will always hold a special place in our memories. We got home to have some special family time, which is what he wanted most. He is now with Jesus in paradise, so I don't feel bad for him. I'm going to miss my boy. He was so talented, smart, and funny. He was the best of Shay and I would have written and conducted the best symphonies ever. God gets him now for his heavenly orchestra, so I'm happy for him. I'm sorry for being the one to tell you this, but you all changed and cared for us in a way that was beyond special. You made our trips to Winston much more pleasant, and I can't thank you enough. Special people like you that make the world a better place. Special love to all, Chandler, Shay, Elise, Abby, and especially Connor Barnes. On Monday of this week, April 29th, Connor's dad wrote, today is Connor's 19th birthday. I wanted to share this song. The song is by the group The 1975, and it is titled Love Me. Connor had shared in his interview with Kate that we'd like to be playing this when he walked into the room. It will be a hard day for us here, but sharing this somehow makes me feel better. Thanks again for all you do. We will be visiting soon, but we're not ready yet. I'm here to tell you, Connor got his wish. We certainly love him. So thank you for letting me share the Connor Bartz and Ronald McDonald House of Winston-Salem love story. Some days are better than others, but it is the grace and gratitude that families like the Bartz family share with us, the staff, during the worst of times that remind me I've got the best job in the world. So if we're all done crying now, any questions? So you do remember my speech from the last time. That's where I got all the guts and the glory from. I really appreciate you sharing with me. Our web address and our telephone numbers on the back of that story card. Please feel free to reach out on the website. My email address, which is chuck@rmhws.org, is certainly there if any questions come to mind. Certainly thrilled about what the McDonald's owner-operators have done for us. The myth we have to bust, though, is they are typically about 9 to 10% of our budget. The one good news is we had a pretty good year in 2018. The flip side of that is McDonald's has been reorganizing, and their big Shamrock Shakes and November got kicked into 2019, so they were only about 5% of our support last year. So we do have to raise about a $1.5 million budget each year that we do through the generosity of the community. 4,000 volunteers last year. Some of that is episodic, and that's the good news. Episodic is one and done. So we'd love to have your corporate group, men's group, women's group, Sunday school class come to the house, do brown bag lunches for our 2 family rooms, one at Brenner Children's Hospital or for Forsyth Medical Center, or prepare the evening meal for our families. We try to give them at least one home-cooked meal each day. And then thank you for anybody that participated in our Sport a Shirt Share Night event. Wear Day was this past Friday. That's $10 for t-shirt. There's still some available. It's called Heaven Road this year. $10 matches up with what we asked our families to give us. 62% of our families aren't able to pay us anything. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it.